Great, so let's begin laying flat on our backs. So it may have been a couple weeks or longer since we last did some yoga, so we're gonna start out kind of a little bit slower than maybe we usually would tonight, just so we can really kind of ease into our bodies, notice how we're feeling. With the nice weather this weekend, we might have been a little bit more active than we have been in a while, so we might be feeling a little bit more achy or stiff, or just ready to move and stretch. So let's really check in and see how we're feeling as we lay back on our mats, relaxing and breathing deeply. So tuck the shoulder blades under the body and breathe deeply in through the nose, out through the mouth, letting the whole body relax. If you had a busy Monday, just let it go. This is your time. Let go of all outside thoughts, plans, and ideas. And as they arise throughout our practice, just acknowledge them and then let them float away. Bringing your awareness back to your breath or the body. Let's walk the feet together, heels together, point the toes, reach the arms overhead, reach through the arms, lengthen the body, elongating the spine. Continue to breathe deeply, feel the way the ribs expand out to the sides, and the way the whole body relaxes as you exhale. And then place your right hand around the left forearm, lift up a little bit higher overhead, and then over towards the right corner of your mat, finding a little bit more length through the left side of the torso, rib cage, maybe even through the abdominals and left hip flexor, depending how far we reach that left hand. And let's come in through center. We're going to switch our grip. So reach the right arm straight out overhead, left hand around the right forearm, reach up and over to the left side now, feeling the stretch along the right side of the body. Take a couple nice deep breaths here. And let's come back through center. Bring the arms down to our sides, hug the right knee in towards the chest, start down with the foot, point and flex, wiggle the toes, and then circle the toes around both directions, loosening up the ankle, letting it relax. And then make your way all the way up the leg to the hip, so begin gently rocking it side to side, and up and down. And just gently begin to circle the knee. So wake up that hip, loosen it up. We're just getting started. So be gentle. And then pull the knee back in towards the chest. Bring your hands to the back of the thigh, along the hamstring, and reach the foot up towards the sky. So we're going to feel that stretch along the back side of the right leg. So we're gently pulling the thigh in a little bit closer towards the chest if we can to intensify the stretch, but we don't really want to feel the leg shaking or any pain in the back of the leg. So point and flex your foot, feel that stretch lengthen down the back of the calf as well as we lift the heel up towards the sky. And just breathe, keeping the rest of the body as relaxed as possible. Maybe we can pull that leg in a little bit closer to the chest as we kind of get more comfortable in this posture. And then continue holding the back of the right leg with the right hand. Reach the left arm out to the left side. Let's take a deep breath. And as we exhale, open the right leg down to the right side. So find that inner thigh stretch. Let the hip relax and release. And you can turn your head and look the opposite direction, looking over the left shoulder. If you find that your left hip is lifting up off the mat, just place your hand on top of the left hip or thigh. Remind that hip to relax. You may need to lift the right foot up a little bit back towards the sky to kind of counterbalance that left hip. But we just want to feel a deep stretch through the right inside of the leg. Let's inhale the right leg back up towards the sky. Switch our grip, so bring the left hand now to the back of the right hamstring and cross the right leg over to the left side. If, like me, you have furniture or a wall in the way, you can always bend the knee, that's fine. We're still going to get a stretch through the outside of the right hip and thigh. Our right arm is now extended out to the right side, and we're turning our head again, looking away from the leg. Excellent. Let's bring the knee back up to center and lower it all the way down to the floor. Take a nice deep breath. Bring your awareness down into your legs. Notice if that right leg already feels a little bit more loose, a little bit more relaxed than the left one. We'll now switch sides and hug the left knee in towards the chest. So grab a hold of the back of the thigh, or you can bring your hands to the shin. Either one is fine. Start by pointing and flexing the left foot, circling the toes, wiggling the toes, just waking that whole foot up. If it's been in shoes all day, let it move around. And then begin to work your way up to the hip, rocking it side to side, up and down, gently circling the knee both directions, starting small, gradually making those circles a little bit bigger. Maybe noticing if this side is a little bit more tight than the previous side, or sore, or stiff. If we pay attention to how our body feels now, it helps us throughout our practice because we can be a little bit more mindful of the poses we're moving into, maybe not pushing ourselves so hard. Remember, we never want to be in pain. We want to feel a stretch, but it shouldn't be hurting our bodies. So bring your hands around to the back of the left thigh, placing them on the hamstring, and lift the toes up towards the ceiling. Feel that stretch along the back of the leg. Try and relax the body as much as possible. And don't forget to breathe. Gently pull the leg in a little bit closer if you can, towards the torso. And continuing to hold the left leg in the left hand, bring the right hand down to the right side. Let's take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, open the left leg down to the left side, keeping the shoulders grounded on the mat, the hips also grounded without rolling to the left side and letting the right hip pop up. We want to keep it down. And then turn the head, look over the right shoulder. So we're looking away from the legs here. And let's lift the left leg back up towards the sky. Switch hands and exhale. Cross the left leg over to the right, keeping the left shoulder grounded. You can let the left hip lift off the floor here. So gentle spinal twist. Turn the head and look over the left shoulder. And let's inhale the leg all the way up and exhale back down to the floor. Wonderful. Let's bend both knees, hug them in towards our chest, and pull them in nice and close. So around the spine for a moment, just rock side to side, massage the back, the kidneys. And then rest on your natural center. Draw the knees away from one another, moving into happy baby. Reach the arms through the legs, bringing the palms to the top of your feet, fingers wrapping around the outside edges. Open the feet up towards the ceiling and pull them away from one another. So your legs are in a position as if you were squatting on the ceiling. we want to continue to reach our tailbone back and down towards the floor. So we don't want our back too rounded here. Think about keeping a nice long spine. Gently pull the knees back in and down towards the mat or towards your shoulders. And take another nice deep breath. And then pull the heels in towards the glutes. Bring the thighs together. Hug the knees in towards your chest. And now tuck the chin towards the chest as well. We're going to roll along the length of the spine 3 or 4 times until we come up to a seated position. And then we'll cross our ankles, roll our shoulders back, and sit up nice and tall. So we want our shoulders stacked over our hips. And let's not forget about our head. We don't want our chin too far forward. We want to pull it back so our ears are over our shoulders as well. Okay, so just a couple warm-ups for the neck and upper back. We'll start by bringing the chin down to the chest. And then bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. So beware of the chin here. We don't want to have it jutting out towards the front of our mat, but instead keep the chin slightly tucked so you feel that stretch down the right side of the neck. If you want to add a little bit more intensity to this, pick up the right hand, flex the wrist, and begin to press away slowly through the palm. So as we lengthen that arm, you're going to feel that stretch intensify, and you're not just going to be feeling it in the neck, but you'll feel it all the way down the length of that right arm as well. Let's bring the hand back to our lap, bring our head back up to center, take a nice deep breath, and we will switch sides. So chin to the chest, bring the right ear towards the right shoulder, be mindful of the chin, keep it tucked. And when you're ready, if you'd like to intensify it, you can pick up the left hand, flex the wrist, slowly press away through the palm. Feel that stretch intensify. And just breathe deeply. Good. Left hand to the lap, chin to the chest, and lift the head back up. Let's reach our arms straight out at shoulder height. Circle the hands both directions. And then interlace the fingers, reach your knuckles away from your body as far as you can and round the spine here. So think about pulling the navel back behind you as you reach your knuckles away from the shoulders. And let's release. Bring the shoulders back, stacking them over the hips. Pull the hands back behind you, interlace them one more time. Roll the shoulders back and together and reach the thumbs away from the tailbone now, opening up the chest in the opposite direction, lifting up towards the sky, looking upwards, breathing deeply. Good, let's release and bring our hands forward. So come onto our hands and knees. Walk your body back so it's in the center of your mat with your palms under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Of course, you're welcome to fold over your mat and create a little bit extra cushion under your knees if you'd like at any point. So our weight is evenly distributed through the hands and knees. We're going to start with some cat-cows to increase the mobility in our spine. So as we exhale, really arch the back, draw the chin in towards the chest, look back towards your toes. And as you inhale, round the spine and look upwards. So move at your own pace. Exhale, arch. Inhale, round. So while I mainly cue this as moving the back, we really also want to get the shoulders and the hips involved. So when you inhale, think about spiraling or opening up the hips. And then as you exhale and arch the back, almost press the hands down into the floor and slide your shoulder blades away from one another. Create some space in the upper back. Let's do one more. And then come to neutral spine, back is flat, head and neck are relaxed, looking downwards and forwards slightly of your hand. We're going to add our arm and leg extension to this to create a little bit more warmth and more strength along the back side of the body and the abdominals. So let's start with our right arm and left leg. As we inhale, reach them straight out in line with the body. As we exhale, bend the knee and elbow, arch the back, tuck the chin, and look back behind you. So inhale, lengthen, exhale, arch. Now, if this is a little bit too wobbly today, you're welcome to just slide that left foot forward and back on the mat. Or you can plant the right hand and only work the leg. Now be careful not to rush through one movement or the other. They should be even in both directions. And on your next inhale, let's hold the arm and leg nice and long. Pull the abs in deeper towards the spine. Maybe we can lift the arm and leg a little bit higher, really turning on those muscles along the back side of the body. And breathe. And now lower the hand and knee down to the mat. Excellent job. Let's switch sides. So left arm, right leg, inhale, lengthen. Draw the abs in. Exhale, knee and elbow together, tuck the chin. Good. On your next inhale, let's hold it nice and long, same as before. If you can, lift a little bit higher, a little bit longer through the arm and leg. Draw the abs deeply in towards the spine. And let's lower our hand and knee down to the mat. So your hips back on your heels. Take a couple breaths in child's pose. Walking your hands out a little bit further from the body, finding that stretch and that opening through the upper back. And now walk your hands towards the right corner of your room. Press back into your left hip. And let's come through center, walking the hands over towards the left corner of the room, sitting back into the right hip. Good. Hands back through center, and let's make our way into downward facing dog. So fingers are spread wide, curl the toes, lift the knees off the mat, the tailbone up and back, pressing down through our heels. So again, if it's been a couple days, weeks, months since we've done this, may feel a little stiff at first. Try pedaling your heels, shifting the weight from one leg to the other, finding a little bit more length through the backs of the legs and the Achilles. Let your head and neck relax, gently looking one side and then the other, or up and down. Good. Let's tiptoe our feet forward. Come into a forward fold. Feel free to keep those knees bent, finding a comfortable fold as long as you can let the upper body really relax and hang over the legs. You've got the perfect posture. Just breathe deeply. Now press into the soles of the feet, keep the knees soft, and let's come all the way up. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chin off the chest, standing nice and tall. And we're going to move into sun salutations, but we're going to do the first set nice and slow so we can really get into each posture that makes up the sun salutation, kind of find our space tonight. And after we do that first set, we'll do one more set at a normal pace. So feel free to breathe more often than I'm cueing because we'll be in these poses a little bit longer than one breath. So standing towards the top of your mat, feet under your hips, toes pointed forward, knees soft, shoulders back. Let's inhale and exhale, palms at the center of the chest. Inhale, lift the arms up, gently arching back, looking upwards. And as we exhale, hinge at the hips. So our knees are soft, body is nice and long from fingertip to tailbone until we can't fold forward any further. Then we drop our hands down to the mat on either side of our feet. Knees are bent if we can't reach the mat. And we're looking towards our knees, really just letting the body hang. On your next inhale, let's take a big step backwards with the right foot. Gently lower the knee and flatten the top of the foot to the mat. Drop your hips down and forward as you lift the chest and look upwards. Nice low lunge here. You'll feel that stretch through the front of the right hip flexor, maybe the left inner thigh. Take a couple breaths, checking in on the body. And now let's curl the right toes and exhale, bring the left leg back to plank. So draw your abs in so we can stabilize the body. Of course, if this is too intense, you can always lower the knees. Let's take another deep breath. And as we exhale, lower the knees, bend the elbows, lower the chest, and then lower the forehead to the mat. So your hips will be sticking up for a reason. It creates space. So on our next inhale, we can slide forward, press through the palms, lift the chest, lift the forehead, look upwards, coming into a Cobra Pose. So our shoulders are back and away from our ears. Our elbows are bent, tucked in next to our sides. Tops of our feet are flat on the mat. Excellent. Let's continue on. Curl the toes under, press through the palms, lift the hips up and back, exhaling, downward facing dog. Again, look back towards the toes. Think about rolling the shoulders back and together. Breathe. And let's inhale, big step forward with the right foot. Try and bring it up between the hands if you can, creating that straight line across the fingertips and toes. Lower the back knee and flatten the foot to the mat. Hips are down and forward. Notice your breath, even it out. And let's exhale, left foot forward, coming back to our forward fold. So our hands are going to remain on the mat, so we may need to keep the knees bent. That's fine. Tuck the chin, look towards the legs. Let the body relax. Inhale, lift the chest, arms up all the way, keeping the hips over the heels as we gently open the chest and arch back. Exhale, release the arms back down to our sides. Take a deep breath. Excellent job. So we'll do one more slow sun salutation like that. Let's inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, lift the arms up. Find length as we open the chest and reach the fingertips back. Hands can be together or open, your preference. Exhale, hinge forward, straight line from fingertip to tailbone. Lower the chest towards the thighs. Drop the fingertips towards the mat, tuck the chin towards the chest, and look towards your legs. On your next inhale, step the left foot back this time. Nice large step, lower the knee, flatten the top of the foot. Drop the hips down and forward as we lift the chin up. Looking upwards, breathing deeply, feeling that stretch through the inner thighs, the hip flexors. Good. Curl the right toes and exhale. Right leg back to plank. Draw the abs in. Hold it here. If you need to, lower the knees. We're just going to take one more nice deep breath. And then come down with control. Knees, chest, and forehead. Inhale, slide the crown of the head forward as you lift it up, pressing through the palms. Little baby cobra here. Elbows are tucked in, looked upwards. Curl the toes, press through the palms, exhaling, hips up and back. Downward facing dog, look back towards your toes. On your next inhale, step the left foot forward, come into our low lunge. Try and step that foot forward or place it on the mat between the hands, lowering the right knee and flattening the top of the foot to the mat. Hips down and forward as we look upwards. And now exhale, step the right foot forward. Come into our forward fold, look at the legs. And let's inhale, arms all the way up. Gently arch back. And exhale, release. Arms by the side, shoulders back and away from the ears. Back into mountain pose. So let's now do one more set of sun salutations. So that's one more right leg, one more left side. And we'll just do our normal pace, moving with the breath. So from mountain pose, let's inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, lift the arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips down to the mat. Bend your knees if you need to. Inhale, right leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the right toes. Exhale, left leg back to plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower, knees, chest, forehead, or chaturanga. Inhale, slide forward, press through the palms, lift the chest, look upwards. Exhale, curl the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, right leg forward, left knee down, foot flat. And exhale, left leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. Exhale, release, arms by the sides. Inhale, exhale, palms together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, foot flat, look up. Curl the toes. Exhale, right leg back to plank. Inhale, exhale, lower, knees, chest, forehead. Inhale, slide forward, press through the palms, lift the chest, look upwards. Exhale, curl the toes, hips up, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right knee down, foot flat. And exhale, right leg forward, feet together, look at your knees. Inhale, arms up, gently arch back. And exhale, release. Arms at the side, shoulders back and away from the ears. Well done. Shake it out. We're going to work on our balance now, so find a point to focus on, something that's a little bit higher than eye level. We'll start on tree pose tonight. So a nice basic balance posture, but still one that can be very challenging. So let's root down through the left foot. Spread the toes nice and wide. We want the left foot under the left knee, knee under the hip, okay? So everything is stacked so we have the most support possible. So shift the weight into the left foot, roll the shoulders back, and when you're ready, begin to peel the right foot off of the floor. So if you're feeling wobbly tonight, you can place the right foot on top of the left. Again, depending on what our comfort level is, we can bring that right foot up, skipping over the ankle to the left inner calf. Or we can skip over the knee and bring it to the left inner thigh. Or if you're feeling super steady and up for a bit of a challenge, we can bring the right foot to the left hip crease. So the heel kind of goes right in front of the hip flexor and the knee points down to the mat. So that's a little bit more challenging, and you can certainly keep your left hand on that foot to keep it there. It's hard to kind of brace the body and keep it there without holding it. So any of those variations are great. But again, we want to consider that we're pressing down deeply into that foot. We're not letting our left hip sag to the left side, but instead we're stacking it over the foot as best we can. And our hands, if they're not holding onto the leg, can come to the heart, can stay on the waist, or they can come all the way up to the sky. That's a little bit more challenging because our body becomes longer and a little bit harder to control. So draw the abs in for support, focus the eyes, and breathe. Let's take one more nice deep breath. Lower the arms back down, bring them to the waist if they're not already there. With control, lower the right foot back down to the mat. Excellent. Shake out the legs. And we'll switch sides. So you can find a new point to focus on. You can try something different with the left leg, in fact, where you lift it. may be determined by how steady you feel on the right side. So many of us are a little bit stronger on the right side if we're right-handed. So for many of us, this is our strong side. So let's give it a shot. Spread the toes nice and wide, knee is soft, shoulders back, abs are drawn in. At your own pace, lift the left foot and find a home for it on the right leg. Remember, we don't want to put any sideways pressure on the ankle or the knee joint. They kind of appear like natural shelves, but we don't want to actually use them to hold the foot up, okay? So above or below the knee or ankle. Once you have that foot in place, press down through the right foot. Make sure that hip is stacked on top of the knee and ankle, and you can adjust the hands. You can try something new here or go with what works for you. Excellent. Let's come down with the same control. And lower the left foot down to the mat. Excellent. Shake out the legs. And if you're not already at the top of your mat, let's take a step there. Move into our triangle and warrior sequence. So let's take our right foot and step back about a stride. Remember, as we step back, we rotate the hips, shoulders, and chest to face the long edge of the mat. Look down at your feet. Your left heel should point towards your right arch. Extend the arms at shoulder height. Inhale. And as we exhale, imagine you're sliding your back along a wall. So we're not going to fold forward. We're just going to reach over to the side. And when we can't reach to the left any further, we're hinging at the waist. So we're keeping our arms nice and long, reaching from floor to ceiling, just placing the back of the left hand on the inside of the left leg. So our knees are soft, they're not locked, they're not bent. We're feeling that stretch through the right side of the abdominals, through the left inner thigh, and we're breathing deeply. Let's exhale, bring the chest and shoulders all the way up. Keep the arms extended, keep the left foot where it is. We're gonna step our right foot back for warrior two. So we have to open up our stance, make it a little bit longer. Flip the hands so the palms are down towards the floor, but keep the arms at shoulder height. Turn the head, look just past the left fingers. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, bend the left knee, stacking it over the ankle and opening the knee up. So it's hard to tell from the camera angle here, but my knee is pointing towards my second or third toe. Think about the middle of that foot. We have a tendency with tight inner thighs to let that knee kind of roll inwards towards the arch, but think about opening that leg up to point towards the middle of the left foot. Breathe deeply. And let's flip the left palm up towards the sky for peaceful warrior. Lift the left fingers up. Keep the legs exactly where they are. Just let the right hand drop down towards the right outer leg. Look upwards towards the left palm. And breathe. Good, let's come back to our warrior two, bringing our arms parallel to the floor. And from here, we're going to move into extended side angle. So for a modified extended side angle, something that's not so intense, we can bring our left forearm down to the left thigh and sweep the right arm forward. Or for the traditional posture, we're going to bring the left hand all the way down to the mat, so the left pinky is next to the left arch. Our right arm, same thing, sweeps forward, right bicep next to the right ear, tilt the chin up and look towards the right palm. So we want to really feel this through the left inner thigh. Depending on our hip flexibility, if when you've brought the hand down to the mat, your knee is now past the ankle, that means we need to open up our stance, okay? So we always want to be mindful of our alignment so we get the most out of these stretches, so our body is in supported, it's in alignment. Good. Let's try and sink our hips down a little bit deeper, breathing deeply. Roll that right shoulder back, keep it stacked over the left, and let's take one more breath. And as we exhale, press into the left foot. Bring the torso and arms up, straighten out the left knee. Let's come back to center. Bring our arms down towards the thighs or towards the hips. And we're going to rotate our left foot now so our feet are parallel to one another. We're in a wide leg stance. And we're going to start with a wide leg forward fold. So hands on the hips. Let's inhale. Nice tall spine. Exhale, begin to hinge forward. So keep the back flat until we're about halfway down, and then just drop your hands down to the mat. If you've got a block handy, you're always welcome to use a block at any point. But once you've got the support of the mat under your palms, continue to fold forward and look through the legs. So let your head and neck relax and breathe deeply. If this feels too intense, of course you could walk your feet together. If you'd like to make it more intense, widen the feet. Walk the feet a little bit further away from one another towards the ends of your mat. Think about reaching the crown of your head down to the floor, to that space between your hands. And let's walk our hands over towards the right foot, rotating the chest towards the right thigh. And then walk the hands back through center and over towards the left leg. Again, rotating the chest towards the left thigh. Excellent. Hands back to the center. Use the palms for support. Walk the feet together until the heels and toes are back under your hips. And then lift the torso back up. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chin off the chest. Excellent job. Let's step to the top of our mat. Nice deep breath. And we'll switch sides, triangle pose. So our left foot now steps back, rotating torso towards the left edge of the mat. Arms are extended. Make sure you have that alignment of right heel pointing to left arch. Let's inhale. Exhale, reach the right fingertips towards the top of your mat and then hinge sideways, bringing that right hand down towards the right leg. Lengthen through the arms, stretching the muscles across the front of the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and breathe. Let's inhale, and as we exhale, lift the arms and torso back up. Flip the palms so they're down towards the floor and walk the left foot back on the mat, opening up our stance for Warrior Two. Inhale, exhale, bend the right knee, stack it over the ankle, open up through the inner thigh so the knee is pointing towards the middle of the right foot. Now, sometimes we have a tendency of when we bend that right knee to start reaching the right arm forward, but you see that we become out of alignment. Our shoulders should remain stacked over our hips here. So let's breathe deeply. And then flip the right palm towards the sky. Peaceful warrior. Keep the legs where they are. We're just going to relax the left hand back down to the left thigh. Reach the right fingertips up towards the sky as we look upwards. Good. Let's come back to Warrior Two. And from here, extended side angle. So right forearm to right thigh, or right hand all the way down to the mat, pinky next to the right arch. Sweep the left arm forward, bicep next to the ear. Nice long line down the length of the body. Take one more nice deep breath. And exhale, press into the right foot, come all the way up. Good, arms float down to the sides. And here's the challenge. Push off that left foot, come back to mountain pose at the top of your mat. All right, good job. So let's take a step to the back of our mat now, so we have plenty of space in front of us. Let's move into chair pose. So the feet are under our hips, about 2 fists apart. Hands in prayer position. Shoulders back away from our ears. Let's inhale, exhale, bend the knees, reach the tailbone back behind us, coming down into what is a narrow-legged squat. So chair pose, we're really building strength through the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings. Draw the abs in and tuck the tailbone under, flatten out the lower back. Glance down, you should be able to see all of your toes. Excellent. Let's fold forward, bring our hands down to the floor, use them for support, lifting your heels and sinking your hips down to meet them. So we're balancing on the balls of the feet, building strength in the feet and ankles, the lower legs. If you can, inch your hands back towards your body so you can lift your chest up a little bit higher. And if you're feeling steady tonight, try and bring your hands up, either to your thighs or to your waist, or maybe just hovering above the mat. You'll feel your toes gripping. That's a good sign. Excellent. Let's bring our hands down to the floor now. Ease the knees down as well. Keep the toes tucked. If you can, shift the hips back to the heels again. Sitting up tall, stacking our shoulders over the hips, over the heels and toes. So now we're stretching the soles of the feet. This can be really intense, especially if you have plantar fasciitis. If that's the case, if it's just a little sore or too tight, just lean forward, lift the hips up until it feels good, okay? So again, this should be a stretch. We don't want to be in pain. Excellent. And let's bring our hands back down. Flatten the tops of the toes. Let's sit back on our heels. We're going to be here for a couple breaths. So if you want to swing your legs around, go right ahead. We're just going to, we're not going to do the full bind or grasp, but we're just going to roll the shoulders out a couple times each direction. And we're going to reach the right arm up, bend the elbow, use the left hand to pull the right elbow towards the center of the body. So naturally our chin is going to come towards our chest because our hand is so close to the back of our head. We can't kind of keep the head back in its normal position. That's okay. But we want to feel this stretch through the outside of the right tricep and just under the armpit. And let's release. Roll out the shoulders several times, both directions. And we'll switch sides. Left arm up, bend the elbow, use the right hand to pull the left elbow towards the center. And release. Excellent job. All right, let's walk our hands forward and we're going to come into downward facing dog. So spread the fingers wide, curl the toes, lift the knees off the mat, lifting the tailbone up and back, rooting down through the heels. I'd like you to bring your awareness to your arms. So oftentimes we kind of just move through downward dog without really focusing on it. But I'd like you to think about rotating, now keeping your palms down on the mat. I'd like you to think about rotating your elbow creases towards the front of your mat. So when we do that in downward dog, it shifts how the weight is distributed and carried in the shoulders and upper back. So you're going to feel it a little bit differently there, but we're going to be engaging more muscles, okay? So palms are flat, knees are up. So again, think about pulling the elbow bones or the pointy parts of the elbow back towards the body and the creases forward. They'll never be fully forward, but they'll be more forward than when you began. So just think about holding it there. Notice how the shoulders feel a little bit different. That's good. And on your next inhale, let's take a big step forward with the right foot. We're going to come into our low lunge, hips down and forward. Now we held this a little bit longer in our sun salutations today, so you might feel a little bit warmer than sometimes we do when we come straight here. So let's breathe. If at any point you'd like to lower the back knee, go right ahead. But we do want to drop our hips down and forward as much as possible while keeping the front knee over the ankle to really feel that stretch through the left hip flexor and quad. Let's gently lower the back knee, flatten the top of the foot to the floor, and we're going to walk our hands back, shifting the hips back towards the back of our mat, straightening out the right leg, lifting the toes off the floor, and then folding forward over the right thigh. So pull the chin towards the chest, look back towards the left leg, and feel that stretch all the way down the back side of the right leg. Excellent. Let's walk our hands forward, lower the right toes, and we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Think about those elbows. And now let's switch sides. Inhale, left foot forward between the hands, low lunge, hips down and forward. Feel that length in the right hip flexor. And let's lower the knee, flatten the top of the right foot down to the floor. Walk the hands back as you shift the weight, straightening out the left leg, lifting the toes, folding forward over the left thigh. Excellent. Let's walk the hands forward, lower the left toes, and step back to downward dog. Next, we're going to pick up the right heel, lift it up towards the sky, bend the right knee. Moving into pigeon, we'll pull the knee in towards the chest, shift the weight forward into our hands, and lower the knee between the hands. So we're creating that A shape between the hands. Left leg is relaxed back. We'll inhale, lift our chest, looking upwards. Exhaling, walking our hands out, lowering the chest down towards the right thigh. Letting our bodies relax. We don't want to roll to one side or the other, so our hips should be evenly distanced above the mat. If you've got a block or a cushion or a pillow nearby, you can always wedge it under that right hip if you find it rolling down towards the floor. Let's inhale, head, neck, and chest up. Walk our hands back to either side of the right knee. Curl the left toes under. Let's press back to downward dog. And we'll switch sides. Left heel up. Bend the left knee. Pull it in towards the chest, lowering the knee down between the hands. Relax the right leg back. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Good. Let's inhale, head, neck, and chest up. Walk the hands back to either side of the left leg. Sit down into the left hip. Let's swing our legs around, bending the knees. Using the abs for control, let's roll back all the way. Bring our arms down to our side, and if you'd like to lift up into shoulder stand, now is the time. If you prefer to do legs up the wall, you can make your way over towards one of your walls at any point, or you can just remain laying flat on the mat. So for shoulder stand, we tuck the shoulders under the back of the body. Arms are next to our sides, palms are flat. Use the abs to draw the knees in towards the chest. Press through the palms to lift the tailbone up over the shoulders. And then bend the elbows, bringing the hands to the lower back. And reaching the feet up towards the sky. Point and flex the feet, let the calves and ankles relax. Bring one leg overhead, reach away through the opposite leg. And gradually switch directions. And then lower the toes down to the mat. Coming into Plow Pose. And then bend the knees in towards the face. Bring the hands down to the mat for support. And slide the knees down the front of the body, lowering the back, and then the soles of the feet. Once your feet are grounded on the mat, tuck the shoulder blades under and take a nice deep breath. And let both knees gently roll down or fall to the right side. Look over your left shoulder. And then bring the knees back up through center and lower them down to the left side, looking over your right shoulder. And then come back up through center and slide the heels down about mat width apart. Flip the hands over so the palms are up towards the sky. Tuck the shoulder blades under the back of the body and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth, and let your whole body relax. Bring your awareness all the way down your body to your feet. My toes, feet and heels are releasing and relaxing. My toes, feet and heels are released and relaxed. My ankles, calves, and knees are releasing and relaxing. My ankles, calves, and knees are released and relaxed. My thighs, hips, and buttocks are releasing and relaxing. My thighs, hips, and buttocks are released and relaxed. My abdomen and lower back are releasing and relaxing. My abdomen and lower back are released and relaxed. My fingers, hands, and wrists are releasing and relaxing. My fingers, hands, and wrists are released and relaxed. My forearms, elbows, and upper arms are releasing and relaxing. My forearms, elbows, and upper arms are released and relaxed. My chest, back, and shoulders are releasing and relaxing. My chest, back, and shoulders are released and relaxed. My neck, head, and face are releasing and relaxing. My neck, head, and face are released and relaxed. My mind is calm, my breathing is even, and I am completely relaxed. Bring awareness back to your body and begin to move your fingers and toes. Gently stretch your arms overhead and lengthen the body, awakening it. Gently reach your arms to the right side and then over to the left side. And turn onto your right side. Take a nice deep breath. Place the left palm in front of the center of your chest and press up to a seated position. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace.